Reebok is already pulling back on Angel Reese's shoe, months on shelves, and it's sitting in the bargain bin, marked down, barely moving. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham just announced her own Adidas line, and people think it sells out in minutes. Same league, same year, two completely different stories. And if you're wondering how Reese went from calling herself the biggest crossover star in the WNBA to this, stick around because it gets messier. Why is nobody buying Reese's shoe and Sophie's will sell out? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Backstage at T-Mobile Arena, UFC 329 is about to kick off. Max Holloway and Conor McGregor headlining, the whole building buzzing. Sophie Cunningham is just there as a fan, soaking in the night, and she mentions to Dana White that she'd love to walk around that octagon sometime. White doesn't hesitate. He tells her straight up, then you're going to walk around it, and just like that, she's got the co-main event ring girl spot. No contract talks, no months of planning, just a hallway conversation that turned into one of the biggest crossover moments of her career. Here's the exciting part. Sophie was supposed to be a spectator. She didn't have a rehearsal. She didn't even have time to process what just happened before she was walking out barefoot in front of a sold-out Vegas crowd with cameras catching every second of it. No script telling her where to stand, no producer walking her through hand movements, nothing. Just Sophie, the ropes, and thousands of people who had no idea a WNBA player was about to become the story of the night. Then she does the point, you know the one, the me point, and she does it right at Max Holloway, and he plays right along with it. That single moment gets clipped, reposted, and spread across every sports account within hours. It's the kind of clip that doesn't need a caption because the reaction is already written on Holloway's face. People are sending it to their group chats before the actual fight even starts. After Holloway wins, Cunningham is right there at center ring celebrating with him, and that photo goes everywhere. Sports pages, UFC's own accounts, basketball accounts that have nothing to do with fighting, all of them are running that image. It becomes the picture people associate with the entire event almost as much as the fight itself. Now, compare that to how these things usually work. Most athlete brand moments get planned out for months. Teams of people sit in rooms deciding camera angles, wardrobe, talking points, exactly how many seconds an athlete smiles for a sponsor logo. It's safe, it's controlled, and it usually feels like it. Cunningham's night had none of that. There was no wardrobe department, no script, no team of handlers feeding her lines. It worked precisely because it wasn't manufactured, because she looked like she was actually having a blast instead of performing for a camera crew. And that's exactly why it traveled the way it did. Within weeks, Adidas had noticed. A moment that started as a 5-minute hallway offer from Dana White turned into real interest from a shoe company watching millions of people fall in love with someone who was not even trying to go viral. That's the spark. Now let's get into what that spark actually turned into. Adidas drops the announcement and social media basically explodes. Sophie Cunningham has her own shoe now, the Crazy Energy Player Edition, and within minutes, it's all over basketball Twitter, sneaker pages, everybody reposting it. This isn't some quiet press release nobody notices either. It's the kind of drop that gets screenshotted and shared before the ink even dries on the announcement. So what actually is this shoe? It's priced around $120, sitting right in that everyday sneaker range, not some limited flex piece you need a raffle to buy. It's her name on it, her player edition, and for someone who wasn't even considered a top-tier star a year ago, that's a real signature moment. This isn't a generic team shoe with her name slapped on the side either. It's built around her energy, her game, the stuff fans already associate with her. Now, some people are asking the obvious question, why is Adidas betting big on a role player instead of chasing a superstar for this kind of push? And the answer says everything about how branding works right now. Companies aren't just chasing stats anymore, they're chasing trust. And trust is exactly what Cunningham has built with people who watch her play every single night. Her audience doesn't feel like she's selling them a character. She's not performing a version of herself for cameras, she's just being who she already is, on the court, in interviews, in that UFC ring, all of it. That consistency is why people call her America's Girl. And that nickname didn't come from some marketing meeting. It came from fans on social media who started saying it after watching her be herself over and over again. Compare that to Angel Reese standing up and declaring herself the league's it girl, the biggest crossover star in the WNBA, and watching the internet basically laugh it off. One label got handed to someone by fans who meant it, and the other got claimed by someone before anyone agreed to it. And let's be honest, Reese is never getting a ring girl offer from Dana White. She'd probably trip over the ropes trying to do a lap. People are already predicting Cunningham's shoe sells out in minutes once it drops, and that's not random hype talk. Her UFC night is still fresh in people's minds, that finger point clip still floating around, and her likability carries weight that a marketing budget can't fake. Companies can buy ad space, but they can't buy this kind of organic reaction. This is the market rewarding something real instead of a campaign built in a boardroom. Nobody scripted the octagon walk, nobody scripted the nickname, and nobody scripted the sellout predictions either. It's all just people responding to someone they actually like. And a big part of why fans trust her name on a shoebox comes down to how she treats the people standing right next to her on the court. Let's talk about the difference between a teammate who backs you up and one who can't keep a locker room together. Sophie Cunningham stands up for Caitlin Clark in public every single time somebody comes at her, and Angel Reese reportedly can't keep teammates around long enough to build any kind of loyalty at all. Same league, same season, two completely different reputations forming in real time. Cunningham has made defending Clark part of her identity on that team. When opposing players got physical with Clark and nobody called it, Cunningham was the one getting in between plays, setting hard screens, making sure people knew there'd be a response if anyone tried to take a cheap shot. Post-game, she said flat out that she's not going to watch her teammate get roughed up without answering for it. That's not a script somebody handed her, that's just how she plays. And fans noticed immediately, because it's rare to see a role player treat protecting a superstar like it's part of her job description. Now, flip over to Reese's situation, and the story reads completely different. The tension inside the Chicago Sky wasn't some rumor floating around one blog. It got covered everywhere. Friction with teammates, friction with coaching staff, a locker room that reportedly wasn't as unified as the front office wanted people to believe. Players came and went. Coaches dealt with headaches nobody wanted to talk about publicly, and Reese sat right in the middle of most of it. Then she lands in Atlanta, and somehow the exact same pattern is already surfacing. Reports of new drama, tension building again, and it's barely been any time at all with her new team. Two different franchises, two different rosters, two different cities, and yet the complaints sound almost identical every time. When one situation goes bad, that's circumstance. When it happens twice with the same player at the center both times, that's not bad luck anymore. That's a pattern. Compare that to what's happening in Indiana. Lexi Hull, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell aren't just playing well together. They're building the kind of chemistry fans point to as proof that a locker room doesn't have to be complicated. Hull plays the role of the connector. Boston anchors things inside, Mitchell brings the scoring punch, and none of it works without everybody actually wanting to be there for each other. That's the exact opposite of what's being reported about Reese's situation, and fans aren't shy about pointing out the difference. Cunningham's loyalty to Clark isn't a marketing angle some agency cooked up to sell shoes. It's just who she is, and that's precisely why sponsors and fans trust that her image isn't an act. And once you understand that trust is real, it makes a lot more sense why Caitlin Clark's own numbers are about to blow past anything else in the league. Let's look at the reality of Reese. Racks of shoes marked down, sitting in the bargain bin, and it's Angel Reese's signature shoe piled up on the shelf. Fans are posting pictures of it in stores, tagging it, laughing at the price cuts. And it's spreading the same way Cunningham's UFC clip did. Except this time, it's not a good look at all. This shoe was supposed to be the moment. Reebok timed the launch right after her All-Star Weekend push, banking on the attention she was getting to turn into real sales. That's how these deals usually work. You time the release for maximum buzz and let the momentum carry it. Except the buzz never turned into buyers, and now, months later, the shoe is sitting on shelves instead of feet. Instead of pouring more money into ads and pushing the shoe harder, reports suggest Reebok is quietly backing off. No new campaign pushes, no fresh ad spots, nothing ramping up the way you'd expect for a signature shoe still trying to find its footing. That's not how a company treats a product it believes in. A shoe that's still sitting unsold months after launch isn't a slow start, it's a stall. In the sneaker business, the first few weeks tell you almost everything, and if a shoe hasn't caught on by month 2 or 3, companies start pulling back instead of pushing forward. That's exactly what appears to be happening here, and it says a lot about how Reebok is reading the whole situation right now. Now put that next to what Nike is doing with Caitlin Clark at the exact same time. Nike is ramping up marketing, pushing new content, leaning into every bit of attention Clark generates, while Reebok looks like it's stepping back from Reese. Same industry, same year, 2 completely different directions. This isn't only about sales charts either. Sponsors read more than numbers, they read reputation, and Reese's reputation right now is loaded with controversy, locker room drama, and public complaints following her from team to team. Companies don't want their logo next to that kind of noise, and that's exactly the read a lot of people in the industry are giving this situation. And it's not like a player's presence doesn't move real money either. Remember when ticket prices dropped 48% the moment Clark was ruled out of a game? That's what one player's popularity does to an entire market, and it's the same force working against Reese right now, just in reverse. So Reese is scrolling through her phone, watching people predict Cunningham's shoe sells out in minutes, while her own shoe sits marked down in a bargain bin nobody's rushing to. That gap right there is fueling every bit of her public frustration lately. The market's already decided who it's buying into, and it's not the it girl label Reese keeps handing herself. Now the real question is what this means for the league once next season starts. What does it actually mean when Forbes ranks Caitlin Clark as the 4th most powerful woman in all of sports? Think about that for a second. Not the 4th most popular WNBA player, not the 4th most marketable rookie, the 4th most powerful woman across every single sport on the planet. That ranking puts her ahead of athletes who've been building their brand for a decade or more, and she's done it in just a couple years. Her off-court earnings now beat her WNBA salary, and that almost never happens for an athlete this early in a career. Usually it takes years of stacking championships and MVP awards before endorsement money catches up to game checks, let alone passes them. Clark skipped that whole waiting period completely. Start with Nike. Her deal is the largest in WNBA history, full stop, and that number does more than pad her bank account. It tells every other sponsor watching that the WNBA is worth real investment, not just a token check written to look progressive. When Nike puts that kind of money behind one player, other companies pay attention because Nike doesn't throw around numbers like that without data behind the decision. Then there's State Farm, and this one's bigger than people realize. Clark is the first female athlete the company ever picked as a lead endorser, not a supporting face in a group commercial, the lead. That decision mattered because State Farm is about as mainstream as a brand gets, and picking her signals she's crossing over into households that don't normally watch women's basketball at all. Wilson gave her a signature basketball line, and here's the part that should stop you mid-scroll. The last time Wilson did that for anybody, it was Michael Jordan. That's not a stretch or a marketing comparison somebody made up for a headline. That's the actual company history. Clark's name sits in that same conversation now. Now add the Gatorade deal. Reportedly, the biggest contract Gatorade has handed to any athlete, male or female, and it changes the whole picture. Gatorade isn't sponsoring a basketball player at that point. They are betting on an entire audience Clark brings with her, one that stretches way past basketball fans into casual sports viewers who just like watching her play. Put all these deals side by side, and the pattern is obvious. Companies aren't only buying a good player, they're buying trust, reach, and an audience that actually shows up and spends money. Sponsors have hedged on WNBA investment for years, worried the audience wasn't big enough to justify the risk. And Clark broke that hesitation completely by proving the audience was always there, just waiting for a reason to tune in. She's not just the most visible player in the league right now. She's resetting what the financial ceiling looks like for every woman playing professional sports. And that kind of sponsor confidence doesn't show up for everybody, which is exactly the problem for players standing on the opposite end of that trust. Two brands, two directions. Cunningham's built on a ring walk nobody planned, and a shoe fans actually want. Reese is built on claims about being an IT girl that the bargain bin keeps contradicting. Real moments sell. Empty declarations don't. Look ahead to 2026. Clark, Cunningham, Hull, Boston, Mitchell. One roster fans genuinely can't wait to watch again. That's a team built on chemistry, not headlines about locker room drama. So watch where the sponsor money goes next season. Watch whose shoes move and whose sit marked down. Money doesn't lie about who fans actually want. Why is nobody buying Reese's shoe and Sophie's will sell out? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications as we're bringing you all the action and top stories. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.